Hi everyone and welcome back to the day before. It's been a while. For the past couple of months I've been dealing with my parotid gland swelling up, so I'm gonna go see an ENT, and for right now it's all good. For this video today we are going to be talking about the books I've read so far this year, and I've read 32 between the beginning of January and right now today. Right now today I'm reading With a Vengeance by Riley Sager, and it's pretty good. I'm also going to start rereading The Death of Mrs. Westaway because that's for my book club, which is on Saturday. Anyway, let's get into it. So the first book I read this year was Identity Unknown by Patricia Cornwell. And I gave that book 3 stars. I thought it was pretty good. The next book I read, and it was actually a short story for like an Amazon original. It was called The Bad Friend by Carolyn Ketnes. I love her as an author. I gave this short story 4 stars. I would give it a read. My first 5-star book this year was The Happy Writer by Marissa Meyer. And I really liked it because of the fact that, you know, a lot of books about writing are, you know, the trials and tribulations of being a writer and stuff like that. And she kind of talks about, like, the great things about being a writer, which I love that. You know what I'm saying? Now, my sound may not be great in this video, probably even the next video, because I'm having to use just my camera microphone. I don't have my microphones today. I need to get them. The Perfect Son is the next book I read this year, and it's by Frida McFadden. She is definitely an author where I just want to read all of her stuff. And that was 4 stars. I remember that book okay. And I do recommend giving it a try if you like Frida McFadden especially. The next book is Bonded in Death by J.D. Robb. I've read a lot of the In Death series by her. And that is, J.D. Robb is a pen name for Nora Roberts. And I really enjoy those books. I gave this one 4 stars. Next is The Crash by Frida McFadden. I gave that book 4 stars. It's pretty good. If you like her, I would give it a go. The next book is another 5-star. It was called You Are Fatally Invited by Andy Pliego, and I hope I'm saying the name correctly. That was an excellent book. I really enjoyed it. So I definitely recommend it. You know my favorite genre is murder mysteries, and that was a really good one. The next book is Do Not Disturb by Frida McFadden. I really liked this. It reminded me a lot of Psycho by Alfred Hitchcock. I gave it 4 stars. Close Your Eyes and Count to 10 by Lisa Unger was the next book on my reading list, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was going to be a 5-star, but there were some things, you know, that put it into the 4-star category. This is probably the only autobiography I have on the list. I have a video about how I binge watched The Gilmore Girls. Well, you know, I had to read the 3rd Gilmore Girl by Kelly Bishop, who plays the mother of Lorelai in Gilmore Girls. I gave that 4 stars. She has a very interesting life, and if you like autobiographies, you would probably enjoy that one as well. I gave The Bane Witch by Ava Morgan 4 stars. When I first started reading it, I got a picture of the book that was kind of false. It turned out to be something a little bit different. I thought it was great. I do recommend it. Ooh, and you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not very hard on books. I love reading and I love stories, so I'm not a critical person when it comes to books. So that's why you're probably going to get a lot of 4 stars out of me. My rating system, and I hardly ever give a 1 star to a book, is 1 star is I did not like it. 2 is meh. You know, I could have spent my time better reading something else. 3 is good. 4 is great. And 5 is exceptional. Let's move on to The Strawberry Patch Pancake House by Lori Gilmore. Oh my gosh, I loved it. It was a 5-star, and I don't read romances ever. And liking that, it was so good. So I have all the other books in that series on my reading list. What is really cool about that book is the dad in the book is named Archer, and the daughter is named Olive. And Archer and Olive is my favorite bullet journal company. So I was like, wow, that is so cool. The next book I read this year is The 24th Hour by James Patterson. That's part of a series called the Women's Murder Club series. I really like it. I gave it 4 stars. I would give most books in that series 4 stars probably. The next 2 books I read were short stories, like Amazon originals. So like the 32 books I've read this year so far, it seems like, you know, for an average reader, that's a lot. No, I read some short stories. Letter Slap by Owen King, who is a son of Stephen King. I gave that little short story 4 stars. It was really good. I enjoyed it. Jackknife, on the other hand, by Joe Hill, who is also another son of Stephen King's, I gave 3 stars. I liked it, but I didn't think it was like a great one. And if I had to choose between the 2, I would read Letter Slap by Owen King. Now the next book, I thought it was going to be like a horror story. It was called The Summer I Ate the Rich by Micah Molit, and I hope I pronounced that person's name correctly. I gave this book 3 stars. I liked it, but it wasn't what I expected. I thought it was going to be a horror novel, and there wasn't too much horror in it. So, for that reason, I did like it, but it wasn't what I expected. If it were a horror novel, like I was expecting, it probably would have gotten a higher rating from me. The Maid's Secret by Nita Prose got 5 stars. I love Molly the Maid. And I suspect if there are any more books about Molly the Maid by Nita Prose, that's probably going to get a 5-star for me. And about that series, I will say this. Each book gets better and better. And that's very unique in terms of a book series. Usually, you know, the first one's the best. And then, you know, the second one's pretty great. And then they kind of start going down in quality. And that is not the case for the Maid series. The Molly the Maid series, I guess you would call it. It's very excellent. The Secret Book of Flora Lee by Patty Callahan Henry is not the type of book I would read. And in my murder mystery book club, a person nominated it and we all chose it. So I read it and it's really good. I gave it 4 stars. I thought that, like, I remember the characters still. I remember the setting. I highly recommend that book. Then I read another 5-star, and it is not typical of me. Uzumaki by Junji Ito, and it is a manga horror. I highly recommend it. What beautiful, beautiful imagery in terms of, you know, the drawings are beautiful, but it's still horror. Do you know what I'm saying? So, check that out. I bet you will like it a lot if you like horror. The next book I read is The Serial Killer Support Group by D.B. Stevens, and I gave that one a 5-star rating too, because I thought it was going to be like, oh, we're going to have to find out who is killing all these people. No, it turned into something different, and I loved it. So, I would check that out too. The Tenant by Frida McFadden, another 4-star from her. I just love all of her books, and I just consume them very quickly. I really do like them. The next book on the list is Hidden Nature by Nora Roberts, and wow, I truly love that book. I gave it a 5-star. I remember the story still. I remember the characters. I remember the setting. How descriptive. Nora Roberts is a top-notch. She's one of my very, very favorite authors. Like, top-notch. Do you know what I mean? As herself. Like, The J.D. Robb books, the In Death series, usually they're 4 stars, but the books that she writes under her own name, I like them a lot. The next book in the list is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I gave that 4 stars. I really liked it. What I liked the most about that one were the characters, the old ladies, really, and the police inspector. That's a great book to check out, so I would see if your local library has it. Next is Death Row by Frida McFadden. Now this is the first on a long list of Amazon Originals, the Alibis collection. This was a good collection. I actually recommend going and checking the whole thing out. But Death Row by Frida McFadden, I gave 4 stars. The ending was not what I expected. The next in that series, The Ex-Wives Club by Sally Hepworth, was also a 4 star. False Note by David Lagerkrantz, I gave 3 stars. If you're short on time and you can only read a few, I would skip that, but if you have the time, I would read it. Do you know what I mean? And if you only have time for one, read Small Things by Wanda M. Morris, the 5 star in the group. Very good. And then the next one, Good Neighbors by Chad Zunker, is 4 stars. There was another story in that, but I didn't rate it for some reason, but it was my least favorite. So if you have only 2, I would say to read Small Things by Wanda M. Morris. And I also liked Good Neighbors by Chad Zunker because it was not what I expected. It was really fun. Alright, we're wrapping up. I'm almost done telling you all of the books on my list. If you want to see more from me about great and wonderful books, please subscribe because there is more coming up. The next book I read was The Yellow Dog by Georges Simenon, and I know I'm not saying his name correctly because he was a French author. So this book that I read, it was translated. I gave it 4 stars, and it was a short story. It took me, I think, an hour to read. It was really good. It really reminded me of, I think, the detective in here, the inspector, is in other stories of this person's. So I think it's kind of like Agatha Christie's Poirot, where if you really like it, you can go and find more. I really did like it. I gave it 4 stars. However, I read a lot of Agatha Christie still. Maybe when I'm just like so tired of her and I've read like all of the Poirot books over and over and all of the Miss Marple books over and over, I'll move on to that. But I highly doubt it. Agatha Christie's Poirot is my absolute favorite in the whole wide world. Next is a very interesting book. It's called A Most Puzzling Murder by Bianca Moraes, and I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was good. It comes with puzzles to solve, right? And also, like, if you get the audiobook, you can go to her website, the author's website, and print out the puzzles so you can, still work them out. I thought that was excellent. I kind of just wish that this book was, and it seems like it was a big labor of love. I wish it was more refined. I honestly do. But, and you get to, like, pick your adventure as well at some points in the book. I definitely recommend it for people who like murder mysteries and solving puzzles, especially. Like, if you like Nancy Drew games, you will like this book. However, I think I could have liked it a lot more, right? Ward D by Frida McFadden, I gave 4 stars. I really liked it. I like all of Frida McFadden's stuff. I don't think I've read anything where I did not like it. But also, I give most of her work 4 stars. I think it's great. But I don't think I've given much 5 stars. Now, this next book, it's by Lisa Jewell. And so far this year, I do believe it's my favorite. Don't Let Him In. 5 stars. Highly recommend. The characters, the imagery, the settings, the story, it's still fresh in my head. If you only read one book from my list, I recommend that one for sure. If you only read one small, like short story from my list, that would be Small Things by Wanda M. Morris. I've had a wonderful reading adventure so far this year, and I know there's more to come. Like I said, I'm reading With a Vengeance right now. I'm 40% through. It's turning out to be pretty great. But I have another video to film today for you guys that's going up tomorrow. So I gotta hustle today. I will see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.